an agenda or a pouch or a keyring or something pointless from one of these brands. Even I have had my head turned by them. Is it just a piece of kind of designer junk in a way? I know it's super tempting, and I don't wish to tell any of you what to do. You have to do what feels right for you, but honestly, you don't need these things. Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Oh, there we go, I've lost my book. I have made notes for this because we're going to be discussing really popular items, particularly popular on social media, popular items that aren't cheap, but as designer things go, they're cheap. You know, they're well under, let's say, £500, so you feel like it's attainable, but you don't need them. And some of them are really, in my opinion, really pointless purchases for reasons I'm going to come on to. So the first thing you just don't need, just don't do it, are designer phone covers. How often do you change your phone? You might be someone who doesn't change up your phone, but I know for a lot of us, what is it? It tends to be like every 18 months, doesn't it? And if you buy a phone case, I've got a few examples here, and these range from around about £300 upwards. That's a huge amount of money to spend on something you're going to use for 18 months and then it's going to be good for nothing. And also, I actually have got a gorgeous designer phone case from Dior, but it's for an iPhone 10, which I don't have anymore. I can't even sell it because no one's interested. It just ends up being a dormant item that wasn't cheap in the first place and you don't end up using it. So I would say, if you're thinking, yeah, but I want a nice phone case, there are so many options you can go for. Like, for example, my phone case is sparkly. My friend actually did this for me. I will link to her below because she can crystallize anything, but she crystallizes phone cases. These are all Swarovski, so they're proper sparkly. They're really, really good. But you can also go onto like Etsy, Amazon. I know a lot of the time if you go to shopping centres that there are very often like little kiosks in the shopping centres selling phone covers. You can get some really cute ones that cost a fraction of the price, and when you change up your phone, you don't care because the cover didn't cost you that much. Right, the next thing is potentially, like, I'm on the fence with it. I can see that this could be a long-term purchase. In fact, I think it is a long-term purchase. But I would say to think about it before you go and buy it. It's designer agenda covers. The reason, okay, so for me, could be a long-term thing because you buy it and you can always use it for work. But really think about it before you buy it. Are you someone who uses notebooks? Like, I use notebooks. If anyone was going to buy a designer agenda cover, it should be me. But I'm just not that into them. I think they're a lot of money, and you've got to keep rebuying the pages that go on the inside as well with every year that goes by. I know you can get dupes that aren't from Louis Vuitton, let's say, but I think the refills are about £55. And that's just for the calendar. If you want other pages, like note pages or stuff, I think that's extra. I would personally, if I was going to buy a designer agenda cover, I have seen them pre-loved for so much less than what they are new. I think I would probably go pre-loved. So think about it though, before you jump in and buy an agenda, think, am I really going to use this? Am I really, after a while, is the need to keep buying the infill pages, is that going to get tedious? Am I going to keep doing it? Because fundamentally, with everything I'm telling you about, the reason why I'm telling you about it is because of the price. With the money that you're spending on that agenda, could you save that and put it towards the bag that you ultimately want? Oh my God, this next one, this is so big on social media at the moment. I feel like it's insanely popular, and it's designer hair scrunchies. They are everywhere. And I can't deny, even I have had my head turned by them. I was on Instagram, like I am always. I was on Instagram the other day and someone unboxed the most gorgeous velvet Prada hair scrunchie. This is it. And the unboxing was just beautifully done, the way it was done, and there was all like nice pink roses in the background, and then the hair scrunchie was put on the vanity table, and then you saw it being worn, and all of it made me think, I can't believe this, I want a Prada hair scrunchie. I'm not going to go and do it, but how much are they? They're not cheap, you know. I I think they're around about, they're over £200 from memory. I haven't written down the price of this, but there is one from Louis Vuitton. This one is a joke. This is so small and it's £280 for a hair. It's not even a hair scrunchie, this is a hair elastic. So again, what I'm trying to say is, for this kind of money, I think it can feel like these things are attainable. So for example, if you are saving up for a bag and you've saved up £500, and that's taken a long time because 500 is a lot, and then you get your head turned by like an agenda or a pouch or a key ring or something pointless from one of these brands, you can feel like, oh, I've got that money, I can go and buy that hair scrunchie, but ultimately you're still going to want the bag that you're saving up for. So this is why I'm doing this video, because I'm just trying to say to you, before you go and drop your money, have a think about, do I really want it? Or is it tact? Is it just a piece of kind of designer junk in a way? The next big one is designer pouches. Okay, so I'm warning, I'm about to show you some really cute little designer pouches that are divine. They are so sweet, but they are so incredibly pointless in my opinion for what they are. And they're not cheap, actually, if you think about it. Although they're not as expensive as a bag, for what you're paying, it's a lot. I mean, look at this. This is the Louis Vuitton Nice Nano. It's £720. Now, I've seen this in real life, and it's literally like this. It's tiny. I don't even know what you do for it. It will probably be quite good for travel when you want to put all your jewellery like in a little box by the bed or something in the night or whenever. But I think it's one of those trinket items that's very cute but very pointless. And there are also some options from Prada. This one's £1,400 because it's crystallised. There is another one that's a bit less, which I'll show you here. But again, two items that are very, very sweet, very desirable, but rather pointless. Are you really going to use it? Or is that money better spent put towards the item that you ultimately want? Socks and tights. You're going to think this one's weird, but this is a thing at the moment. How many of you have seen these socks from Chanel? They've almost become like a little bit iconic. Again, I'm going based on Instagram, but they are everywhere on Instagram. And they are being made to look amazing, I won't lie, they really do look good. But in real life, you're really gonna wear them. They are not cheap. They are, did I write down the price? No, I didn't, but here's how much they are here. They are not cheap. And they don't even have the foot part. They're like ankle warmers, pretty much. So again, with things like this, because they've got the logo, because they're cute, you might think, oh, I can afford that. It feels like a piece of ready to wear. I can go and buy that and I can wear them, but think, are you really going to use them long term? Like 5 years from now, are you still going to use them? Are they still going to be in good condition? Think about that. And then the other really key thing here is tights. Okay, so designer tights or stockings or whatever you want to call them have become really popular over the last couple of years. And I want to say that this really kicked off with the Gucci tights. I feel like they came out and they were the thing to have. And the Gucci tights are £250. Here's like a picture of them here. But Chanel also have a pair of tights out at the moment. These are quite a bit more. These are £445. Again, they're really nice. They look, I think, they look quite cool. But the problem is with tights, they're so fragile. Can you imagine if you spent nearly £500 on a pair of tights and then you caught them on something and put a hole through them? Even with the Gucci ones, £250. If you caught those on anything, you would cry. I would be so upset. That's kind of like money down the drain. It really is. Tights are just so delicate. I don't think it's worth it, even though I grant you, if you've got like a plain outfit and you put a pair of Gucci tights on with it, if you're into a logo, it can totally transform it. I get it. But it's just not worth it. But there are brands out there now who do their own stockings that have got monograms on them. So if you like the monogram look, it won't be Gucci, but if you like the monogram look, there are brands out there that do it for like a fraction of the price. And then the final thing is sporting goods. You might think this is really weird, but again, I'm seeing an uptick in this. in people buying sporting goods. So like tennis rackets, yes, you've heard me right, tennis rackets, tennis balls, paddle boards, like Chanel have got some roller skates out at the moment. There's the full thing out there when it comes to sportswear. Now, I want to say, if you're an avid tennis player and you want to buy a designer tennis racket and some designer tennis balls, fair play, go for it. But if kind of you play, you know, like once a year in the summer or whatever, and you're not really into it and you're just buying it because it's an affordable item from a designer brand, think about whether it's really going to be worth it, or whether actually, as I've said a million times, you're better off investing that money in the item you ultimately want, like the bag or the piece of ready-to-wear, the jacket, the shoes. It's definitely worth you holding off and not getting caught into buying, I do want to call it designer junk. I do want to call it that. It's better off you not going down that route, because honestly, you'll regret it. So they're the top items that in my mind feel very attainable. Well, not very attainable, but somewhat attainable. They're the kind of things that you can easily have your head turned by and distracted by when you're saving for what it is that you're actually after. And all I want to do in this video is kind of just for fun reasons as well, point out what some of these things are, how ludicrously expensive they are for actually what they are, and actually just to say to you, keep saving. It will be worth it. It really will be worth it when you get to buy the thing that you really want and not be distracted by a hairband or a tennis racket. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.